Hello, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. Tonight is kind of a special request. Somebody in the comment section on a recent video asked me to do a video on whether they should buy a 3060 Ti graphics card or a digital PlayStation 5, seeing as they're both about the same price. Well, if you've got like a up to a 2080 Super, if you've got up to a 2080 Super or anything underneath that, I mean maybe even a 1080 Ti or whatever, if you've got any 10 series card or up to a 2080 Super, and you've already got your build already there, you don't need to upgrade like a CPU or anything else. My honest and this isn't like taking like a jab at either one of them. My honest opinion is the Nvidia markets the 21 or the 3060 Ti as a 1440p a mid-range 1440p card. Well, I mean mid high end whatever 1440p card, whereas PlayStation 5 markets the PlayStation 5 as a 4K console. Only one of those two companies have accurate um, only one of them is accurate with their marketing. The PlayStation 5 does an okay job at 4K. It does an amazing job at 1440p. The RTX 3060 Ti will is an amazing 1440p card. Like, it gives you ray tracing, max settings. I think the one game that I have that really taxes that card with ray tracing, everything set up, is Cyberpunk 2077. You get right around like 35 to 45 frames a second if you're, and that's with DLSS enabled. But I mean, for me, it was still playable. I mean, it still feels smooth, with the G-Sync monitor, whatever. It still feels fine. Like, it's still playable. I mean, I played that game when it came out at 30 frames a second on the Xbox Series X. So 45 frames a second with everything maxed out, like that's kind of okay for me. Like, I'm actually okay with that. It will do 4K 60, just like the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X on that game if you turn off ray tracing. I think you could probably leave the shadows enabled and still get 60 frames a second, over 60 frames a second. Like, you could still do pretty high settings on that game and still get like a 4K, 60 image without ray tracing and stuff like that. And that's the thing. Like, this 3060 Ti card will pretty much give you like a 4K 60 on a lot of games, even on Spider-Man. With ray tracing disabled, yeah, I get 4K 60 all day. When you turn on the ray tracing on a lot of these games, depending on how heavy it is, that's when you're really gonna start to take a hit. So if you don't really care too much about ray tracing and you want to play 4K, yeah, dude, the 3060 Ti is definitely gonna give you that. If you are buying this card for a 1440p monitor, you're gonna love it, man. You're gonna get all the way up to 100 frames a second. Um, in racing games, I'm maxing out my refresh screen, my refresh rate on my monitor, on my monitor. I'm getting 165 frames a second on a lot of racing games. So that there is not a big problem. If you're doing racing games or shooters, I'm getting pretty high frame rates in those too. Most open world games, you're gonna average anywhere from, I mean, and this is with max settings, you're going to average anywhere from about 70 frames a second all the way up to 110, 120 on some of those games. Unless they're a Ubisoft game, then your frame rate's going to be whatever those can crank out. But I mean, something like Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm getting, up to 100 frames a second. Like that's I feel like that's just fine. Like, the extra fluidity that adds to playing a game like that is unbelievable. The PlayStation 5 has been like an up and down thing for me. Like, it's great, whatever. Like, it's got the exclusives, stuff like that. Like, there is enough reason to buy a PlayStation 5. Don't get me wrong. There is enough reason to buy a PlayStation 5 out there. But I feel like your money, if you've already got a PC already built, and all you need to do is upgrade your graphics card, like, you're going to get more bang for your buck that way spending the same amount of money on the graphics card as you would. And this is if you can get that graphics card at MSRP. If you can go over to, like, I mean, I've seen them at Best Buy. I can go get like a 3080 Ti right now. They're like literally on the shelf here in my state within a few miles. So I feel like if you can get it at MSRP, or actually some of them are on sale right now, yeah, definitely pick up that 3060 Ti and enjoy your gaming at higher frame rates. And if you're already on a monitor, yeah, dude, that's the best buy for you. The PlayStation 5 is still hard to get right now. The software for it, they're still $70 games. Some of them are going on sale and stuff like that. So I mean, it won't be too long before you can start finding like some good sales on some of these PlayStation 5 games, but if you're really out there trying to find a digital version, yeah, just go buy the card. Go buy the card, man. Like those things are a bigger unicorn than the other unicorn. So that's my honest opinion. 3060 Ti versus PlayStation 5. I do think that over time the PlayStation 5 will continue to be utilized, optimized, and things are going to be built better for it, and it's going to take advantage of the PlayStation 5 hardware. Nothing's really taken advantage of it yet. So by the time that stuff actually starts to come out, you'll probably have already found enough money to buy one if you wanted one. And by then you might know if those games are coming directly to your PC or not, because there's no way, I don't think there's any way that the PlayStation 5 is going to beat a 3060 Ti in visuals this generation. Like I just don't. I just don't. Everything that I'm seeing right now, like my system is pushing these games way harder than the PlayStation 5 even tries to in a lot of different things. So I think that you'd be good off. I think that you'd be pretty good with a 3060 Ti. I think it's a solid card. This is the first PC I've ever gotten, and I do believe that this is it. This is giving me exactly what I thought it would. Like I didn't come into this thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get 4K at 100 frames a second or 120 frames a second. Like I never went into this card with those kind of expectations. So I feel like I got exactly what I paid for when it comes to the graphics card. I don't feel like I got what I paid for when it comes to the PlayStation 5. But saying that, in the power and the image quality and everything that you do get with the PlayStation 5 for $500, like you're not going to get you're not going to build a PC for that. Like that, it is still like a really good console. Even the Series S is really good for what it's built on. So that's my honest opinion, man. Like right now, honestly, if I would go with the card, I would go with the 3060 Ti build. I mean, price and availability on some of that stuff, like you can literally go find a 3060 Ti pre-built already on the shelf and just pick one up. So I might even recommend going with a whole build over a PlayStation 5 at this point right now. Just because it's easier to get, the main reason, just because it's easier to get, and you're gonna want to spend another almost $1,000 for a TV just to use all of its features, when you can just buy a graphics card and a monitor for the same price as getting a PlayStation 5 and a new TV for it. Like you can literally spend a couple $100 more and have a way more powerful PC with a screen that will take advantage of everything that you've got on it. And if you want to play 4K, you don't need anything higher than a 60. Like you just need 60 FPS at 4K and you'll be able to use that just fine. So I think that's probably the best way to go, honestly, to tell you the truth. That's my honest thought on this right now. And yeah, if you have any more questions, hit me up in the comment section and I will be more than happy to answer that. And yep, another shout out to Chivalry 2. Freaking love this game. It's awesome. If you don't got it, you should buy it. It is good. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.